Good morning and happy Thursday. Welcome back to the Daily Grind. I'm your host, Chump Change. This is live and recorded. For those of you that might be new here, what we typically do is go over crypto news or news in general in the space, update myself, bring you guys along for the ride. Let's see who's here in the house. Mr. Steven Cicero, my man. Good to see you. Fiddler in the house. Vinny, what's up, man? Good to see you. Joker Miner, Rud Puts, my man, mining to fill my bags. I love that name. Let's see, Son of a Rabbit, Backwards Miner, what's up, dude? I can't believe you bought 6 of those PDUs. That's amazing. That's amazing. Crypto for Seniors, good to see you, man. Let's see, Neomorphous, we have Regilio, what's up, man? Automatic Beats, we have Mr. I'm just gonna call you Olo because I don't know how to say that. And Miss Pocket Change is in the house. Oh, she was in the house. I thought she was in the house. Never mind. Joker Miner's just tagging her. I don't know what's happening. Anyways, all right, guys, let's get into this. Oh, man, Randy's here, too. By the way, Hadouken to Randy. What's up, man? Bitcoin, 59,358 bucks. We got Ethereum at 26.59. Solana's at 144 bucks. XRP, 56 cents. ADA's at 33 cents. You guys know yesterday I sold some LTC during the stream in case everything pulled back, which everything else except for LTC pulled back. So I sold it like 63 bucks. I'm like, that's my luck. That would happen. It's 65.30 as of right now. We have ETC at 18.94. Let's see. Caspa's at 16.7, basically 16 cents, right? Almost 17 cents. We got ETC at 18 bucks, 18.9. Dogecoin is at 10 cents. Let's see, BNB's at 528 bucks. I think that's pretty much it. Nothing else really jumping out at me over here. I want to watch a few things today, so we're going to kind of try to speed through this beginning part here. All right, biggest loser of the day seems to be HNT, down 8.1%. That doesn't surprise me. I mean, HNT's been doing all right lately, but I'm used to them just kind of getting us somehow, one way or another. We're getting screwed. Royce, what's up, dude? Good to see you, man. All right, let's see. It's at $6.63 for HNT. We got the biggest earner of the day seems to be Flare over here at 1 cent, 1.5, just about 7.5% up on the day. We have Phantoms up 5.1 today. We have Aave up 5.8, 108 bucks. Rune is up. This is the Thor chain up to $3.73. Litecoin is up 2.3% today. Again, the Litecoin that I sold, I actually ended up purchasing at like 55 bucks. So I still made some money on the Litecoin. It was just, I sold like, I would say a fifth of my bag or something, just to kind of capitalize on some of those gains in case we had a pullback. But that's pretty much it. I don't think anything else really jumping out at me. Whip's down 5.4% if anybody cares about that today. All right, flashbang, let's see what we got over here. Fear and greed index is at a 29, still in the fear. This is what we need, though. We need a sideways action and we need a slow climb up. Every time the brakes come off and we just go full speed, things pull back even harder. So we want to have it just kind of float sideways until it happens. Vertcoin's at 7 cents. I don't think anybody besides you, Rud Puts, is into Vertcoin. Just saying. Let's see. I dumped LTC and waited a bit, put it back into the bank, and then have it go away. What are you saying, Joker Miner? I think you tried to pay off your house yesterday. Hopefully it worked out. That's awesome, though. That's good. That's why I'm in this too. Make some money to pay off the house. That's, you always got to have goals when you get into this. And yeah, that's that. Mr. Crypto Mikkel in the house. Good to see you, buddy. Perfect. All right, let's get into this. CoinGecko over here. Top 10 coins by coin market cap over on CoinGecko. We have Bitcoin, Ethereum, Tether, BNB, Solana, USDC, XRP, Lotto Staked Ether, Toncoin, and Dogecoin still in 10th place at a $5.1 billion market cap. We got Cardano is at a $12 billion market cap in 11th place. It's actually, I think it's a steal right now to buy that at 33 cents. Just my opinion. I still can't believe Shiba's up here in 16th place at an $8 billion market cap. It just blows my mind. I want to know what's going to happen with this coin. We need it to pump. I need it to pump so I can just get rid of it. Litecoin is in 23rd place, 65 bucks again, looking pretty good. Caspa's in 27th place over here, 16 cents to 16.8. You know what? The other one I've been looking into that are, you know what? I might swap that money into Near Protocol today. That Litecoin that I sold yesterday. I think I'm gonna jump into Near Protocol because Near has let's see, actually. This is one of those coins I got some, but like I kind of want to get more. It's down about 80%. You guys know I like to grab coins that are down about 80% or more. And its all-time high was 20 bucks. It's only at $4 right now. Right? When was that actually? Yeah, so 2 years ago, January 16th, 2022. So the last bull run this took a ride up with everything else, and I think it might be a good time to buy. I don't know. What do you guys think? Is anybody into Near Protocol? Please let me know in the chat. This is just one of those coins I've been trying to keep my eye on, and I think it might be a good buy. That's my opinion. Again, not financial advice. I'm just trying to figure out what I should do with my money. I don't care what you do with yours. All right. Just saying. Buy the dips, his word puts. Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, I think I'm gonna swap into some of that today. Actually, I'll do that in a little bit. I think it's a good idea. All right, let's move on to the miners. Let's see. So today, actually, Gold Shell, shout out to them, is their 5th anniversary of Gold Shell being around, which is pretty cool. Perfect. Shout out to them. You know, even though some of their miners are a bit pricey, it is what it is. They're actually dropping a new Echo line today, a brand new Caspa miner. I have the specs, and I'm not supposed to say anything until 10 o'clock, but F it, I don't care. 5.5 terahashes at 1800 watts on Caspa. It's a 3U server miner. I'm dropping that video in literally 12 minutes. So it'll come out while we're still live, but it really depends what the price is. I don't know what the price is going to be. They didn't tell me that, but I did speculate in that video. And let's just say it's kind of a, we're gonna have to see. We're gonna have to see. Yes, I dropped it early for my members. My members could see it 3 hours early. I dropped it at 7 o'clock this morning for you guys, just because I like giving you guys videos a bit earlier than everybody else. But they will be announcing it at 10 o'clock, and that's when my real video actually gets published. Or for like publicly for everybody. All right, moving on. Bitmain Antminer AL Pro. Let's see, 16.6 terahash unit making $317 a day. Bruh. This thing is going down by like 20 bucks every day. at least we get the AL1 15.6 terahash unit over here, $298. It is finally officially under $300. Not that I wanted it to be, but I kind of knew it wasn't going to hold up. Let's see, what's Lithium looking like right now? Watch it be up today too. No, it's down. All right, that's good. Could be worse. At least it's not up, because if it was up and it was still going down in profitability, then we'd have a real problem. $1.46, down 5.8% today. I mean, listen, these miners still make a lot of money, but when you're spending your kids' college tuition on a freaking crypto miner, don't do that. Chuck Danger. Perfect. Thanks for being a member for 19 months. But he says, don't forget to drink your Ovaltine. Stop the cap. Cut that shit out. Dude, Ovaltine, that's so funny. Oh, that's a riot. Does anybody still buy that shit? Is that still around? Ovaltine? What the hell? That's so funny. Dude, I used to hate that stuff as a kid. All right, let's see. Bitmain Antminer KS5 Pro, 21 terahash over here, making $25.34 a day. We get the KS5 20 terahash unit making $24.13. The KS5M 15 terahash unit making 34 cents a day. We're still at 10 cents per kilowatt hour. Had to check. This site actually defaults 12 cents, which kind of throws me off. It threw me off in the video yesterday a little bit. Bitmain Antminer L9. I can't wait to see what this thing actually does when it comes out. $15.26 a day. This thing is it's pretty crazy. I think I've asked this about 1,000 times, but I don't know if anybody has this thing yet. If you do, please let me know in the chat. I'm hoping this thing's going to stay profitable throughout the next, through this bull cycle and the next bear cycle, because the L7 was, and it lasted me. I mean, it's been profitable for 3 years straight, just about. The Gold Shell AL Box 2 over here, 720 gigahashes. Shout out to my man Dan R. You actually get the hash rate today, and Shay lucked out last night because I forgot to switch it off his wallet at like 9 o'clock. So yeah, he got some extra hashing on the AL2, but 1331 a day. We got the, let's see, the KS5L over here, 12 terahash unit making $10.64 a day. We got the Lithium ALO over here. These things should be shipping this month. 400 gigahashes at 100 watts, $7.63 a day. I kind of want to get one of those, to be honest. I hope they send me one for review, but if not, I don't know. If they get a little cheaper, I might purchase one, but it's dropping by the second, but the wattage, you can't really complain, I guess. The L7 9050, you guys know I got this thing down at Terra Hosting. Shout out to them. 3,425 watts. 9050, right? 9,050. gigahashes over here. $4.97 a day. Not too bad. Could be worse. Merge mining, Doge, and Litecoin. You get like 85% Doge if you don't know. The KS3M, this is the unit that I actually compared the brand new gold shell. What the hell's it called? It's the Echo Miner. It's like the EKA1M or something, I think, if I'm not mistaken. That's what they're calling it. I compared it to this unit right here. It's only making $1.24 a day. The Echo, I believe, is projected to make roughly, at this time, or yesterday time of recording, it was like $5 a day or so. So it all depends on what they're going to charge for this thing, because it's about half the wattage and 5.5 terahashes. So gonna have to see what happens there. KS0 Ultra 400 gigahashes at 100 watts, 39 cents a day. Bruh. That is terrible. Absolutely terrible. I don't like that at all. Geek of all trades, what's up, buddy?
It's fucking good.
Good to see you, buddy. Thanks for stopping by. Let's see. Ice River KS1. Look how bad the KS1 is now. 1 terahash unit, 13 cents a day. Bruh. That's so bad. That's so bad. We got the KS0 Pro 200 gigahashes over here, 100 watts, 7 cents a day. All right, I'm done being impressed today. Let's move on to GPUs. No more ASICs. I'm done looking at it. Pyron's taking over. Pyron and Zealous and Xano. Interesting. Let's see. Let's check Pyron. What the price is doing. Pyron. Oh, that's Polkadot. That is not Pyron. I don't like how CoinGecko does that. If you just type it in and hit enter, it goes nuts and it just clicks whatever it wants. 47%. Holy shit. A Dukin on that. 3 cents. Nice. Look at this. Pyron got some sort of boner candles. Look at this. Look at this liftoff. Maybe it's everyone's been ignoring it for a while. Interesting. 3 cents. Time to get my shit back on a mineable. Pyron hash. Tank this price again. Just kidding. Zealous is the other one. Let's see. Zealous up 6.8% today. $6.72. Nice. Look at that. That had a jump too. I mean, it was like $20. Oh my god, it went up to 33 bucks. Zealous at $37 3 months ago. Bruh. All right, so when I say I look for coins that are like 80% down, I don't mean coins that hit their all-time high 3 months ago. Okay, just saying. Unless they're like good projects like Caspa, my opinion. Just saying. All right, so whatever, take it with a grain of salt. Anyways, Zealous Pyron, Ironfish Pyron seems to be the consensus over here. Ironfish I do not support, so I will never mind them. Tangerine Ring, if you guys are interested, these things are for pre-order now. CCXD gets you 10% off. These things are freaking sick. I can't wait to get one. All right, moving on to news. I want to see, we got a whole bunch of shit we're gonna listen to today. Powering up nuclear energy. Let's see what they got to say over here about this, because you guys know they have like flared gas and stuff. I wonder if it's about that stuff, but probably not. Let's get into it.
Nuclear energy at a turning point, seeing momentum as power demand jumps from electrification and data centers. But the industry's traditionally steep price tag threatening U.S. goals to triple nuclear power by 2050. Pippa Stevens is in Waynesboro, Georgia, where the first U.S. reactor built in years now is operational. Pippa.
Good morning,
Mr. Crypto KJ. Thank you very much first for the 5 perfect pounds. I think that's what you gave me. The L7 and L9 profits are about to go up. Bell's Coin merge mining is getting turned on soon. I had to pay for this announcement because it was ignored. That was the plan. Thank you. I appreciate it. DJ is going to be screaming in a minute, but I figured I'd read it now before they got into what they were talking about. All right, let's do it. I appreciate it.
Andrew, I'm here at Southern Company's plant Vogel beneath this massive 600-foot cooling tower.
Holy shit.
And in the background, you can see nuclear reactor 4.
Dude, that's a cooling tower? There he is. There's my man DJ. There's my man DJ screaming like a savage. I love it. This, dude, that's a cooling tower? Like, look at this. Hold on, let me just... So, what are these? Like all, like fins? Like aluminum fins? Kind of like just a normal heat exchanger? Dude, that's crazy.
And in the background, you can see nuclear reactor 4, which recently connected to the grid, together with reactor 3, which came online last year. They're the first newly built reactor.
They pointed this one, reactor 3, this tiny little plant.
Reactors in the U.S. in 30 years. Now, they sit beside 2 reactors that booted up in the late 80s meaning this plant now provides power for more than 2 million homes, making it the largest clean energy source in the U.S. Nuclear makes up roughly 20%.
Yeah, but you know what? They won't give you any cheaper electric rates. They're still going to charge you out the ass.
20% of the U.S. electric grid, but new builds have stalled. The meltdowns at Chernobyl and Fukushima shifted the public discourse on nuclear power. The industry also has a history of being over budget and behind schedule. This plant is no exception. It was 7 years late and more than double the estimated cost, some of which falls on Georgia's residents. Southern Environmental Law Center called the price tag astronomical, estimating that a third of next year's rate hikes are because of Vogtle 3 and 4.
Damn.
Southern Company CEO Chris Womack told me that the cost overruns are because the U.S. hadn't built a reactor in so long, and that to meet surging power demand, we need an all-of-the-above energy approach, including nuclear.
Damn, that's
we
crazy.
see an economy, we see a state that is growing. We see usage that is also increasing. There's not a better investment from an energy standpoint than nuclear power in terms of where we are today and the fact that these units are going to run some 60 to 80 years.
Now that these plants are online, there are no new commercial reactors under construction in the U.S. And Andrew, I got to tell you, this really only scratches the surface. We got an inside look yesterday at this very finely tuned operation. There are miles and miles of pipes beneath me, miles and miles of cable, and even enough cement, I'm told, to pave a sidewalk all the way from Seattle to Miami.
Jesus.
It was what,
Dude,
20?
that's
I mean, Pippa, how
crazy.
many years did this take to come to fruition? I can't even. This is such. To the fact that you're finally standing there. It
Dude, all the pipes are under this freaking driveway here, or this like parking lot. That's insane.
could be 20 years. I mean, how long is this
Holy
taken?
shit.
It's. I hope, like you're right. The next generation. We've talked about the one out in the Midwest. Are people going to try to stick with this scope of project, or to try to do something a little bit more, affordable and doable from now on?
So this was started in 2009, and so the company notes that there were a lot of hurdles that led to it being behind schedule and the cost overruns. Of course, the financial crisis, and then we had COVID. Their supplier Westinghouse even went bankrupt at one point. And then, but more importantly, they say it was simply because the U.S. had lost the know-how for how to build one of these. I got to tell you, it is really, really finely tuned in there. We saw the steam turbine room, and this just takes an enormous amount of manpower to get one of these off the ground. Also, the NRC, this industry is highly, highly regulated. They changed some of the regulations when this plant had already started construction, leading them to have to rethink how these would operate. But this new AP 1000, they are the first of their kind in the U.S., and they're now being built around the world, just not here. However, there is a lot of hope that other companies can take away some of the insights that Southern Company learned here and then apply those to other reactors. But in the meantime, Kelly, as you noted, there is a lot of momentum behind SMRs, those smaller modular reactors.
Damn. Dude, that's cool as hell, though. I ain't gonna lie, that was pretty cool. All right, let's move on. The actual focus behind the U.S.-China chip war is AI, says chip war author Chris Miller. Let's see what they got to say again over here, guys. Hit that like button, please. Jesus, you're lazy.
Now for a look at the state of the chip sector ahead of NVIDIA's highly anticipated earnings report later this month. Let's bring in Chris Miller, associate professor at Tufts Fletcher School and author of Chip War, the fight for the world's most critical technology. Chris, thanks for joining us.
Ooh, I wonder if that's a good book. I bet that's a good book. DJ Mines, what's up, buddy? Thanks for stopping by.
I mean, we constantly go through these rounds of, U.S. government putting on export controls over some class of chips to China or others. Maybe it hits NVIDIA stock. Maybe people get concerned about the market isn't as big as we thought. And then, of course, there's some kind of response from China to try to do it themselves. Maybe just set it up in terms of what the state of play is. Is this just the world we're going to be living in for a while?
Well, we're almost 2 years into U.S. restrictions on companies like NVIDIA and their ability to sell advanced AI processors into China. And China's, of course, trying to respond to this by building their own high-end AI chips.
All right, I didn't mean to cut him off, but I remember I said the potato head glasses thing yesterday. This one ain't as bad. I could see the lenses, though, in this one. You guys are saying the last guy yesterday didn't have lenses in his, and I can't believe people really wear glasses with no lenses, but he's got lenses. But there is like, it's the potato head style. I don't understand it. Like, why is it like in now? I don't get it.
Right now, China is still meaningfully behind, and we know this because Chinese firms are importing large volumes of the lower end NVIDIA chips that the company still allowed to sell into China. But it's widely expected that the US is going to ratchet up the restrictions at some point later this year. And we've just seen reports from the Wall Street Journal that Huawei is readying a new AI chip that's supposed to be better than the previous version and perhaps more able to compete with what NVIDIA can sell. So this is sort of a cat and mouse game. The US ratchets up, China responds. And I think we should expect this to go forward far into the future.
And of course, the stated rationale is to, withhold certain technologies from China that could be used in a way that compromises U.S. national security. Do we have a sense of exactly how effective that is, how much it might restrain capabilities of other countries, how much of a head start it gives the U.S. and its allies?
Well, the difficulty with the national security rationale is that the actual focus is AI, and AI is relevant for the civilian sector. It's also relevant for intelligence agencies and the military. And so the U.S. goal is really to make it harder for China to be a leader in AI. And I think if you look at the landscape right now, it's U.S. firms who are out in front. And you can certainly get some anecdotal evidence from China that lack of access to sufficient computing power, the type of computing power provided by chips like NVIDIA's, is a challenge to China's AI researchers and to Chinese companies that are trying to scale up. And that's exactly why they're pouring billions and billions of dollars into trying to build out their own chip-making ecosystem that can compete with companies like NVIDIA.
Do we have a sense of whether that's effective? I guess I'm trying to figure out on a practical level, what differential is going to be. And, considering that the Chinese internet is kind of closed to the rest of the world and vice versa, I just don't know exactly what we're fighting over here.
Well, I think the U.S. realizes that China's AI ecosystem will be defined by Chinese firms. But what it wants is in the rest of the world, U.S. AI firms to have a real lead. So the U.S. can set the rules of AI around the world, and so that U.S. firms create the infrastructure that undergirds AI, not just in the United States, but in other countries too. And right now, I think that's more or less playing out. If you ask who's building the data centers that are going to train and deploy AI systems, it's largely U.S. firms, even in third countries. And I think that's what the U.S. hopes to see going forward. And by restricting Chinese firms' access to high-end chips, the U.S. is hoping to keep them behind, make them less competitive in third markets, and therefore provide an advantage for U.S. players.
And Chris, as a sidebar that's, not really a sidebar, I know the defense industry in particular is somewhat frustrated that we haven't weaned our defense apparatus reliance on Chinese chips. If nothing else, it feels like maybe that's not the place to be dependent upon that supply.
I think that's right. I think the defense industry uses a wide range of chips, some pretty high end, but a lot much lower end, some chips that were designed 20, 30, even 40 years ago. And a lot of these lower end chips are produced in large volumes in China. And so it has taken a very long time for defense firms to find alternative sources of supply for some of these lower end chips.
Yeah.
Damn.
And what about the effort? I mean, it's a multi-year effort to bring more manufacturing back to the U.S. or allied countries. And is that going to really shift the dynamics here? Obviously, you'd prefer to have things closer, but still it seems like Taiwan Semi and ASML seem to be the gatekeepers for this business.
Yeah, I think that's right. With the CHIPS Act just passed 2 years ago, we've seen a major increase in investment in the U.S., a huge step change relative to the previous levels. But even this big increase with several $100 billion of new chip making investment in the U.S. expected over the next decade, the reality is that almost all AI processors, like those produced by NVIDIA, are still manufactured in Taiwan and will be for the foreseeable future. So you really can't ignore Taiwan when it comes to the chip industry, because that's where almost all of the cutting edge processors are actually manufactured.
Oh boy. All right, let me you guys are saying in the chat, gold shell dropped prices. Let's see. Turn on the music for a second while we get into this. Let's see. Why is it not working? Womp womp. Is it on Twitter or is it on what is going on? Why is it not working? Come on. Is their website down? Is it getting bombarded? Site connection is not secure. What? Is it not Gold Shell doc? What is going on? Why won't Gold Shell open? Okay, well, let me see. Thank you, Crypto KJ, for dropping that tweet in the chat. Let's see. All right, Gold Shell Echo. Dude, would they say the price? They say the price. Let's see. The E-KA1M. This is the video I just dropped, talking about it a little bit after I did some unboxing and other shit. Power meets silence and home mining. It's literally a jazz miner. Same style, 3U server. Yeah, 5.5 terahash is 1800 watts, 327 joules per terahash. What's the price? What's the price though? Can somebody get the price, please? Like, what the, why do they fucking dick around? Just tell us how much the fucking thing is. God, that annoys the shit out of me. Oh, here we go. Here we go. All right, let's see. Shop. I don't care about reserving it. I just want to see if they have the price. They don't. They don't. Their site's jacked up right now. All right, screw it. We're not going to do it. Let's move on. Crypto World, CNBC Television. Over here, we have crypto investors weighing on new inflation data that clears way for potential rate cuts, I believe, in September. Let's get into it.
Today, crypto prices are unfazed by new inflation data that bolsters hopes the Fed will cut rates in September. Goldman Sachs reports more than $400 million in Bitcoin ETF holdings in Q2, and Brian Estes with Off the Chain Capital explains how crypto is becoming more of a political issue as the upcoming U.S. presidential election approaches.
So the AL Box 2 Plus is coming. What the hell? And bot scalpers crashed the site, I bet.
Welcome to CNBC's Crypto World.
Crazy.
I'm Talia Kaplan. Crypto prices holding steady this morning with Bitcoin trading around $59,400, Ether ticking up to $2,675, and Solana still holding steady at $146, all by noon Eastern.
Dude,
crypto markets were quiet.
These gold chains. You ever see that Indian guy wearing all the gold chains, that meme? He's like covered in gold. That's what that reminds me of.
Following the release of July inflation data this morning, which revealed that inflation slowed to 2.9% compared to a year ago. That's the lowest level since 2021. The data out this morning was in line with Wall Street expectations, driven by higher housing-related costs, and it likely keeps the Fed on track to cut rates next month. This was the second key inflation report out this week.
This one. That one. Oh, where is it? This guy. Oh, that's right.
Yesterday, we learned the producer price index came in cooler than expected. Okay, let's talk about the top stories. Goldman Sachs just revealed it's holding more than $400 million in Bitcoin ETFs for clients. The investment bank filed its latest 13F yesterday. That's the quarterly report institutional investors are required to send to the SEC to disclose all of their U.S. holdings. In its second quarter report, Goldman disclosed just under $419 million in spot Bitcoin ETF holdings spread across 7 of the funds on the market.
All right, I had to pause this quick. Sorry, Crypto KJ, thank you. Real quick, this is the KA1 first look. Why did they put shit all over it? What? Is that what you're supposed to do with those stickers? You're supposed to sticker bomb the shit out of the ASICs they give you? All right, that Crypto KJ, I thought that was a price that wasn't worth watching. Thank you, though.
The largest holding was in BlackRock's iShares Bitcoin ETF, worth about $238.6 million. That was followed by Fidelity's FBTC fund at $79 million, Invesco and Galaxy's BTCO at $56 million, then Grayscale's GBTC at $35 million. The ARK21 Shares Bitcoin Fund was its smallest Bitcoin ETF holding at $300,000. Next, energy provider Talon Energy might be pivoting from crypto as it focuses on the growing electrical needs of AI. Talon reported second quarter earnings yesterday, and during the earnings call, CEO Mark McFarland emphasized how much data centers will play a role in the business going forward. As
what the hell? I was like, why does this all look like it's underwater? Is that all liquid cooled? That's giant.
The demand for power at high-powered computing sites grows. But when asked about the company's crypto aspirations, Farland said the company doesn't believe cryptocurrencies are a, quote, strategic asset. Talon previously partnered with crypto miner TeraWolf to run a nuclear-powered crypto mine in Pennsylvania. But Reuters reported back on August 1st that Talon is looking to sell its 75% stake in that mine. Talon's CEO declined to say on yesterday's call what the company was planning in terms of its crypto partnerships. Last, crypto speculator Chen Wang bought a SpaceX multi-day flight for a private polar space flight expedition. The company announced this week that Wang, who told CNBC that he has been interested in space from a young age, purchased the flight for an undisclosed amount. In the mission, dubbed Fram-2, Wang will lead a group on what would be the first crewed spaceflight in polar orbit. It will fly end-to-end over the Earth. He invited 3 Arctic specialists to join him, including an Australian explorer and guide, a Norwegian filmmaker, and a German researcher. Now, SpaceX does not advertise the price of its crewed missions. NASA, however, previously disclosed that a crewed mission could cost more than $200 million. Now, Wang confirms that he paid for the mission, but declined to specify how much. He has kept a low profile for the most part, and his unspecified net worth appears mostly, if not fully, tied to work mining crypto. SpaceX plans to launch the mission near the end of this year. All right, back to markets for our main story. With 2 key inflation reports out this week, I spoke with Brian Estes, the Chief Investment Officer of Off the Chain Capital, about the data's impact on crypto prices. He also weighs in on crypto's influence on the upcoming presidential election. I want to start off looking at markets because it has been a wild ride recently with that.
I'm going to bump this up a little bit to 1.2, just so you guys know if it's too fast, let me know in the chat. We just have a bunch of shit I want to watch.
Big sell-off last week, followed by some recovery. This week, Bitcoin traded back above $60,000, but this morning dropped to the $58,000 level and then bounced back above $59,000 as of noon amid 2 key inflation reports. Today, we learned that U.S. consumer prices rose 2.9% in July, pretty much in line with estimates. And yesterday, we saw that the producer price index came in less than expected. How do you think the macro environment is impacting crypto prices right now? And what do you think was behind crypto's moves last week?
Yeah, one of the things that spooked the market last week was that the U.S. government moved 30,000 Bitcoin from its custodian at Anchorage over to Coinbase. And people thought that the U.S. government was going to start selling off some of that Bitcoin. And I think news just came out today, and I haven't verified it yet, but they sold 10,000 of that 30,000 Bitcoin. So that's what spooked the market last week. And that was, one of the reasons, it dropped so much last week.
And how is the macro environment this week impacting crypto prices, if at all?
Yeah, so when you look at Bitcoin, the macro view is that we're in what's called a megatrend, a mass adoption of Bitcoin as a new technology. This has been going on for the 15 years Bitcoin's been around. The trend isn't slowing down. So when you look at the macro view, Bitcoin adoption is actually growing faster than internet adoption did back in the 1990s. And this is a megatrend that is unstoppable. It's just like the adoption of cell phones or mobile internet or washing machines back in the 1940s and 50s. So it's, the macro trend is strong, and we think it will continue for the next 20 years until about 90% of the world has exposure to digital assets, cryptocurrency, and Bitcoin.
So what's your outlook for Bitcoin by year end? Do you think we can surpass those highs we saw back in March where Bitcoin crossed $73,000? What would it take?
Yeah, I think that's pretty much in the bag. So where we're at is you look at what's called a halving cycle. So there's been 4 Bitcoin halvings since Bitcoin's been around. That's when the supply gets cut in half, the daily issuance of Bitcoin gets cut in half. That last halving was in April. So the 12 to 18 months after a halving is the best time to own Bitcoin, and that's when it goes up the most. The Plan B model shows that the future value of Bitcoin, according to that model, is at a minimum of $500,000 by October of next year, and it could be over $2 million. If historical models like that are accurate.
So how much of a factor is the upcoming presidential election here in the U.S. on crypto prices? The Republican presidential nominee, Donald Trump, has come out in recent months as pro-crypto, and in May, his campaign started accepting donations in crypto. Of course, the former president was the keynote speaker at Bitcoin 2024 last month. On Monday, the Democratic National Convention kicks off, and it will be interesting to see if crypto is brought up at all. We recently learned that Harris's team is reaching out to crypto experts to learn more about the industry. In fact, speaking with us at Bitcoin Nashville a few weeks weeks ago, Congressman Ro Khanna said he advised her team about digital assets. So I'm curious to get your take on how crypto is starting to impact this election cycle. How much influence do you think it can have on the upcoming presidential election?
I think it's going to have a huge influence. There are over 50 million people in the United States that own Bitcoin and digital assets. That's a huge voting bloc. So all those people are 18 or above, so they're voting age citizens. And so Kamala Harris, she hasn't come out with a plan yet. We expect that to be, coming out soon after she talks to her advisors. But she can do things today. I mean, she could fire Gary Gensler. She would, come out and make public statements about her support of the industry. But that hasn't happened yet. As you mentioned, President Trump was in Nashville during the Bitcoin conference. A couple of the key points that he made was that he said he would not sell the approximate 200,000 Bitcoin the U.S. government currently owns, and then some.
Which is probably why they actually put 10,000 of the Silk Road Bitcoin into Coinbase the other day, because they know if Trump gets into office and he doesn't want to sell it and he holds it, then they can't sell it then, right? So.
Senator Lummis from Wyoming came out and said she was going to sponsor a bill for the U.S. government to buy up to 1 million Bitcoin as a strategic reserve. And then, the biggest news I think that came out of that conference was Robert F. Kennedy, who's running as an independent. He mentioned that if he became president, he would buy up to 4 million Bitcoin, which is basically all the available supply of Bitcoin, which is called the float.
Now, you created and produced a new documentary called God Bless Bitcoin, which highlights the benefits of this cryptocurrency and why more Americans are turning to it as a form of financial planning. I understand the premiere was at Bitcoin 2024 in Nashville about 3 weeks ago. What inspired you to put together this documentary, and how is it being received?
Yeah, so in the first 3 weeks, we've had over 1.6 million views. We just went through this with our consultants yesterday. 92% of the comments have been positive, so I think it's been well received. Our goal is to have 1 billion people watch the movie. We're dubbing it in 7 different languages, so Mandarin, Hindi, French, German, and it's going to be distributed all over the world. And 85% of the native languages will be represented in the movie through the dubbing process. And so it's off to a good start. The reason we made the movie was to educate people on how our monetary system works. So about 100 years ago, Henry Ford has a great quote. He said that if people understood the monetary system, there would be a rebellion the next day. And so what we want to do is educate people on how our money works. And the number one reason we want to do that is because people are working more and more hours. They're taking second jobs. And a lot of people just can't keep up with their bills and maintain a decent standard of living. And the reason this is because our money is broken. If you go back 50 years ago when the Brady Bunch was around, you had one spouse working, one spouse at home, you had a live-in maid, you had 6 kids and a dog off one salary. And now.
Stop the cap.
A live-in maid? No. No, a lot of people didn't have that back in the day. That was just a TV show.
People are working, both spouses are working, and people could barely afford to have one kid. And so the system this monetary system that we've been using for 50 years, which is called the fiat system, it's not working for a lot of Americans and a lot of people around the world. And so the point of the movie is just to show people there is an option. There are other forms of money that are out there. One of them is Bitcoin, and you could just opt into that system if you choose to.
Automatic Beats, I agree. So that's called the slave. Yeah, there you go. There you go. Oh man. All right, total crypto market chart reveals shocking truth. Moving on to videos today. This is Lark Davis. If you guys haven't seen his videos, go check him out. He's got 580,000 subscribers now, and he's finally home wherever the hell he was before his videos were ass. So I'm glad to see him back in his own realm. Let's see what he's got to say here. I'm gonna bump this up as well to 1.2 because I want to watch 2 videos, and then we're gonna get the hell out of here. Let's do it.
The total cryptocurrency market cap could reveal a shocking truth about where we are right now in this market cycle, where we could still be going in this market cycle. And it's a very important chart to watch because this is the big picture when it comes to crypto. This is 100% of all the coins. Everything you've ever heard of in crypto is represented by this one chart, half of which is made up of Bitcoin, 20% of which is made up of Ethereum, 3% Solana, and the other 27% is every dog coin, DeFi coin, shit coin you could possibly imagine or have ever heard of. It's the whole bag of crypto coins. The entire market cap of this $2 trillion asset class represented in one chart. And it's very interesting what it's showing us right now. I don't want to dive into that with you, discuss where it is right now and where we could be going. But in a
Mr. Rude Puts, thank you so much for the €249. He said nuclear power. I'm telling I'm telling it all the time. Not sure I understand that, but I love you, buddy. Thank you for that. I appreciate it.
Important asterisk to this whole conversation is that I could be totally wrong on my assumptions here when it comes to the cryptocurrency markets. So you have to keep that in mind. Investing in crypto is risky. You can lose all your money in a very short amount of time. Why do I say that? Because I cannot predict I don't have the crystal ball, right? I can't predict if there's going to be a US recession next week or next month or next year. We have lots of indicators that are showing that we could have a reckoning coming in the not so distant future for US markets, but it doesn't mean that we can't have some pretty wild market conditions before that happens. Because if you get a major US recession and people are saying this is going to be the big one, new Great Depression, it's all over, man, pulling a hair, gnashing of teeth, it's going to be bad. Or it could be a very shallow recession. The contrarian take is that most people are usually wrong. And while everyone's now sitting around going, recession's coming, maybe a recession doesn't come. Maybe we get a standard 4-year cycle. And the things we're going to discuss in this video end up kind of playing out, which would be kind of crazy. So keep that in mind, okay? This is the bull thesis we're talking about here right now, trying to have a look at the charts and see what they're showing us, not necessarily what we just want to see, okay? So let's have a look. Where are we at right now for crypto? Here we go. Now, we had, of course, that massive sell-off recently. This is the weekly charts on the total crypto market cap, okay? We're around $2.1 trillion today. You can see last week we had a wild week going from 2.14 trillion down to 1.6869 trillion. Huge sell-off in the crypto markets, almost immediately recovered, V-shaped recovery for the total crypto market cap. That's great. That's positive. We bounced off the 100-day exponential moving average. Good. 100-week exponential moving average. We recovered the 50-week exponential moving average, bouncing higher currently. Good. These are very positive moves for the market. You can see we are still under the effect of a bull cross, with the 50-day trading above the 100-day, showing overall bullish momentum still in the entire crypto market. Now, we do have the problem here that we need to start breaking into higher highs at some point, because what have we had happening? We had our peak back here in the middle of March. Then what do we have? We had a lower high and then another lower high. What we don't want to see is this, another lower high. What we want to see, of course, is this, a break of the trend. Is that what we're going to see? We shall find out. But that's kind of where we are right now. The markets have generally been in a downtrend. And although we were
also looking at this, right, I just wanted to throw this out there for people that are like looking to invest into crypto mining or something of that nature. Please, like, right now, everything rides with Bitcoin, okay? Typically, when Bitcoin rises, things rise with it. You're probably going to get more money, in my opinion, if you just invest in the coin that you believe in at this point, when it's low, versus buying a miner and hoping to get your money back in 3 months, 6 months, a year, whenever, however long it is. That's just my opinion. Don't waste all thousands of dollars on these miners right now. Just buy the coin.
recovered.
Then you don't have to pay the electricity bill.
Major moving averages, the 50 and 100 week. You can't argue the fact that until we see a major breakout, which is probably going to need Bitcoin to go beyond $72,000, things are feeling a bit stale in the crypto markets. But is this all just a period of massive consolidation before things really get crazy? Here's some perspective for you, okay? Here's some critical perspective. Have a look at this. This orange line right here represents the total market cap of all crypto coins. We hit a peak in November 2021. Think about that. All of this year's bullish price action, the excitement, Bitcoin going to 74K and ETH up to 4K and Solana teasing, almost getting new highs, but not quite. Meme coins going crazy, dog with hat, bleeding edge of technology. They put a hat on the damn dog, man. None of it has moved the needle enough to get us back to previous all-time highs for the total crypto market cap. You're telling me I've come all this way, gone through all this heavy bag holding, the pain, the suffering, the doubt, and we haven't even got back to a new high yet for the total crypto market cap?
That's really neat. That's really neat, actually, because we could be just right in this stage right now, right?
Bullshit. I call bullshit. Straight up. Think about it, guys. Where are we at right now in the market cycle? We are 4 months post Bitcoin halving right now. Historically, it takes around 6 months for the price really to start taking off, which lining up with September, October, and rate cuts and all that kind of stuff. When Bitcoin starts moving, cracks beyond 72K, it's going to take the rest of the crypto market right up with it. Okay? That's where I'm thinking. That's where my
Zarkov, what do you mean? You said we get debanked for buying crypto, so mining it is. What does that mean? I'm not following.
Head's at right now. It's such wild perspective to think that we haven't even
Charlie, no, Tangent has never been hacked through its entire inception of being a wallet, or since like forever. It's never been hacked.
Got new highs yet. came kind of close, but not even that close, came to 2.7 trillion, whereas last one was 3 trillion. So we're only $300 billion away. And that was at the peak of the madness back here in March, which was a baby rally by comparison to the stuff we saw happening back then. What's interesting too is to have a look like this. You see, because once we break over those highs, that's when the real fireworks start. See, look back here in 2020. We had all this crazy price action. Very exciting time in the markets. It's crazy, by the way. We got down to $100 billion market cap for all crypto coins in 2020. That's crazy, man. Even lower, down to 90 billion. And that's crazy, man. It's crazy.
Matt K says if you're debanked, you can't buy crypto with fiat. You have to mine it. Oh, what? They like ban you? Geek of All Trades said banks see you spending money on Coinbase or other exchanges. They think you are a scam or a liability, then kill your accounts. Weird. Well, that's weird. Why? That's why I use trusted exchanges. Like if I'm going to send money, I send it to Coinbase, right? Where I've never had an issue sending fiat to Coinbase directly from my account right into them, right? And then I'll put it into like a stable coin and send it out to wherever, like say my Tangent wallet, and then I'll swap within the Tangent wallet because it's just easier. It just makes more sense.
These are times and we're watching the markets and thinking, is crypto even going to make it at this point? We're way beyond those days. Anyway, we saw a major recovery throughout 2020. When we finally broke over the previous cap, we had a major price rally on our hands. Now, obviously, best time to buy was down here, right? Just after the breakout of the 50-week EMA. But here's what's interesting is what happened in those months following the breakout of the previous high. We had a 238% price rally. Now, what would happen if we were to see something similar happen again, where we had about a 200% price rally from this level, let's say, right around $3 trillion. 230% takes us up to right around $10 trillion. Now, I want you to remember that $10 trillion number because we're going to see that again in just a minute. Now, that's just past, right? It's not saying this is exactly what's going to happen or any of that kind of stuff, but it's interesting perspective, right? Very interesting perspective. Now, before we get into some forward-looking thoughts with some Fibonacci levels, just a real quick note.
Nope.
Let's talk Fibonacci's here. Here's some
Sorry, I just skipped that advertisement.
Interesting perspective on the market for you. So we've drawn this Fibonacci retracement here from the top of the 2018 market down to the bottom of the market in 2018. What a crazy year that was, from 750 billion down to 90 billion. Wowzers, crypto, man. Now, what's interesting is how this played out in the recovery zone. Look at this.
Robinhood's fine too. I don't know how you say your name, but Robinhood's fine. It used to suck when you couldn't take your crypto off it, but now you can. So it's kind of an everything app. So whatever. I mean, I never had any issues with that one either.
You see, because we saw our first major market peak post breakout coming in here at the 1.618 line. Approximately, that's where we saw the prices topping out. It's also interesting, the 1.618 line ended up being major bull market support after the big run up here to around 64K, $2.5 trillion market cap, 64K Bitcoin, $2.5 trillion market cap for all crypto coins. We came back down to about 1.2 trillion, but that was right at the 1.618 Fibonacci line. Now, what's interesting too is that the first major peak came in at the 3.618 line. Right here. Look at this. Just zoom in on that a little bit so you can see it better. Came in right here, almost exactly at the 3.618 line. Now, after the major retrace, we had our first recovery peak in 21, almost at that level. And the final peak for the total crypto market cap came in right there, the 4.236 line. What's insane, what's absolutely insane is this is a forward-looking indicator. So you could have drawn this in any time in 2019, for example, drawn this chart, and it would have given you these insane levels to watch out for. Now, what's going to happen if we draw this, but for our current market cycle, where do we get to? So I've just shown you the power of these Fibonacci indicators and their predictive capabilities. And look, nothing's perfect, okay? This is markets. No one indicator is ever going to give you all the juice, okay? But there's some very interesting things that start to get revealed here if you start diving in to where we are right now. So as mentioned, we have not yet crossed over the previous important lines on the chart here. So we're just basically now continuing to consolidate under previous all-time highs. But where's a first big breakout take us to? Well, it takes us up to the 1.618 line. That's about $4.5 trillion here. Now that is probably an area where you see Bitcoin around $100,000. Now, if we did a similar Fibonacci retracement line on Bitcoin, you would see the 1.618 line and ends up at around $100,000 Bitcoin. The 2.618 line is around $150,000, and the 3.618 line is around $215,000. So let's say we get our first big market move up here to the $4.5 trillion range. So that's $100,000 Bitcoin. That's Ethereum new all-time highs, not necessarily 5 figures yet, but maybe $7,000-$8,000. Solana's $500-$600 by that point, something like this. So that's an interesting area as a first port of call. If we get as far as the 2.618 line, that's $6.8 trillion market cap. And what's interesting is that we have the 3.618 up here around $9 trillion. And look at this, the 4.236 just over the $10 trillion mark, which approximately lines up with about 230% gains that happened after the previous market cycle peak was broken back in 2018
That'd be a crazy rise if we got up to the $10 trillion market.
and 2020, right? So that's very, very interesting.
This cycle,
now, do we necessarily have to get 10 of these levels? No, obviously not. And maybe you don't get up to these levels, but that would sort of be, for this cycle, the top peak areas. Now, how long does it take us to get there? Will a U.S. recession throw all this off and make all this meaningless? Who knows, guys? Lots of variables in the market. And again, I don't have that crystal ball, but we do have charts. We do have speculation. We do have our theories and models. So this all becomes very, very interesting. So if you're...
I don't know. What do you guys think? Definitely possible. Yeah. I mean, it is possible. Anything's possible, right? But it's just this, I don't know. That's a lot. That's a lot to run up this cycle.
You're looking for take profit levels. These are the three right here where you might see the markets finding local peaks and consolidating. The final target is around the 3.618 Fibonacci line. In my opinion, we don't necessarily have to go to a $10 trillion market cap. In fact, that big round number is probably something that could even be a bit too much for the market to absorb. Either we fall just short of there, or we push just past it at the absolute pico top. A lot of drama and craziness and frustration and pain and exhilaration and all that stuff between now and then. But those are the targets. Those are the targets. And it gives you some interesting perspective on where the market is right now, because it's so easy to get so focused on the short-term craziness in the market, the short-term pain in the market, and think about the big picture of where we could be going. Anyway, let me know down below in the comment section. What do you think? Is it possible for us in this market cycle to still see a $6 or $9 or $10 trillion market cap for all crypto coins combined? Or
maybe. Who knows? All right, we're moving on. Altcoin Daily. Last chance to buy Bitcoin before 100K price rally. Yeah, not clickbait my ass. Sounds like clickbait to me. Let's do it.
$100,000 for Bitcoin. That's your call by the end of the year. Trading right now just shy of $60,000. How does it get there?
It is very...
There it was. You see the potato head glasses? See it? See it? You guys are saying there's no lenses on these. Please tell me that's not true.
How does it get there?
It is very likely that Bitcoin still finishes the year around $100,000, with experts calling for ETH to 4K as well.
But you also have the call for ETH to end the year at $4,000, and obviously a strategic Bitcoin reserve wouldn't necessarily benefit ETH. Why do you think that ETH is set for a rally here as well?
And this CPI data, inflation data, may have just guaranteed it.
Because it's the first year over year being less than 3% of an inflation increase, the CPI here, first year over year since March of 2021.
So the headline CPI was under 3%. It's 2.9%. And keep in mind, this is CPI rate, inflation rate. So inflation is only increasing by 2.9 now.
So year over year, the first time that it hasn't been over 3% or higher since March of 2021, right in the heat of the pandemic.
So this now almost guarantees for September, not if the Federal Reserve cuts interest rates, but how much.
This number seems to move that question to what kind of rate cut we're going to have. Is it going to be a quarter point, which is the kind of normal state of affairs for the Fed to cut, or is it going to be a half-point cut? And this pushes the possibility of a half-point rate cut closer to happening.
There are two takeaways that matter from today's CPI data. Number one, the Fed will start cutting rates in September. And number two, 3% is the new baseline for inflation rate, not 2%. Both are bullish for Bitcoin.
A half-point cut would send a dramatic signal that there's going to be more money flowing into the economy, that loans are going to be easier to get, and then you will start to see, you're already seeing interest rates coming down, interestingly, over the last several months, like 30-year mortgage rates coming down. This would send mortgage rates significantly down.
As interest rates come down, more money can flow into the system, the stock market, the crypto market, the economy. And pay attention to the reason that this Metafied CEO is doubling down of Bitcoin's year-end price.
You know, there's a few things that we have to look at. In the previous bull run, two types of buyers didn't exist that exist today, right? So now you have nation states possibly kicked off by Trump's call for, you know, a strategic Bitcoin reserve. So that sort of ramps up the buying pressure from a buyer with deep pockets in nation states. The other thing is ETFs now, they're gobbling up Bitcoin whenever they dip below a certain point, so they can pull them and obviously have them readily available for people coming into their funds. So with those two, you know, increasing pressures upward on the you know, the price of Bitcoin and, you know, the supply being fixed, I think it's one of those things that, like, you just can only go in one direction. Like, barring some type of economic meltdown, the amount of money coming into the system can only push the price up.
And let me put this into perspective and simplify this more. And watch today's whole video. We'll talk altcoins. But Bitcoin's price today at around $60,000 is similar. It's the exact same price as where we were back in 2021, but everything has changed. Bitcoin, in many ways, is completely de-risked. The fundamentals are so much better, even though the price is similar. We're actually doing a talk on this, the greatest crypto bull run of all time, at Rare Evo this weekend, following Robert F. Kennedy and Charles Hoskinson. But price is the same. How have we been de-risked? Number one, Bitcoin today and Ethereum are now regulated through these spot crypto ETFs. Charles Schwab, BlackRock, Fidelity, these institutional juggernauts are now actively offering these assets to their clients. This was not the case back in 2021. Also now, bad actors have been removed from the space. FTX used to be the second largest trading exchange by volume globally. They're now collapsed. Binance, the first largest crypto exchange by trading volume, has essentially been taken over by the US government, meaning over 50% of the trading volume for Bitcoin and crypto now flows through American exchanges. That just means less ambiguity. Large institutional money can now feel comfortable jumping into this asset. And now not only are the largest crypto exchanges American, over 50% of the trading volume flows through American exchanges, but also Bitcoin mining today versus mining maybe 5 years ago, back in 2020, over 50% is done in America. Again, price is the same as 4 years ago, but as an asset, looking at the fundamentals, this has been completely de-risked. Another big thing was the halving. We've essentially been through double the halvings since we were only at one right after when this price hit 60K, yet the price hasn't doubled. So that's a double restriction of the supply, yet we have not seen the price impact double to match. I don't think the Metafied CEO's prediction is that crazy. And just to keep it real, speed bumps in any road happen. For example, just today, the U.S. government,
especially on the Silk Road, 10,000 Bitcoin, man, that's crazy. They sent that to Coinbase.
Has moved 10,000 of their Silk Road Bitcoin, worth about $593 million, to Coinbase Prime, meaning they either want Coinbase to custody it or they want to sell it. That's why you move crypto to an exchange if you want to sell it.
I bet if Trump looks like he's going to win, he'll probably sell it.
But these speed bumps do not invalidate the broader trend.
Like, the secret to success,
but don't stress over it, because it'll just get bought right up.
As a nation state is you have defensible, productive property. And so the reason that the British Empire rose is they had an island and it was hard to invade it. Nobody got to it after 1066. And on that island, they industrialized. And then they got the colonies, and that was defensible, productive land. And then the reason the U.S. rose to power is the United States is defended by the Pacific on one side, the Atlantic on the other side, frozen tundra to the north, a desert to the south, defensible, productive. And what we do? Well, we bought Louisiana Territory. Jefferson did it for $15 million, and he bought 27% of the landmass. Seward bought Alaska, $7 million. The United States federal government owns 28% of the land. In the U.S., we own, 18% of the gold or something. So scarce, desirable property, but buy productive property that you can defend. And so if hundreds of trillions of dollars are migrating to cyberspace,
do they have him? These are like stars. I'm like wondering what these lights are. Is he like in space talking right now? Is that what it's supposed to be?
but my view is Bitcoin's going to demonetize Siberian real estate and Chinese real estate and everything in Africa. And why would you want to own bonds of a South American company? Why would you want to own anything other than Bitcoin? So as the capital flows, you're going to see hundreds of trillions of dollars there. So if you're the United States, what are you worried about? Losing your world reserve currency status. Where's the money going to go? To Bitcoin. How do you hedge that? Just go to where everybody's going and buy 20% of it, and then when they get there, you know, you'll be fine.
And this
Dude,
is so
smart.
epic to see.
So
looking
smart.
at altcoins actually implementing, it's clear that people want to play off the grid. The first blockchain game on PS5, the closed
All right. This might be a shill, but I kind of want to hear about it.
playtest saw around 400,000 transactions from 30,000 players this past weekend alone. This is a real blockchain game on all PS5s now, and people don't even know it's a crypto game, but they play it and learn along the way.
I would say like this is like my description of the game, still keeping the NDA intact, is like it's like Fortnite no build had a baby with the kid of Apex and Warzone. That's like what I think, and it just made a beautiful masterpiece, Love Child, which is off the grid. Just like
I couldn't show like a clip where it's not laggy as shit.
Yeah, the cyber limbs and all that stuff is really cool.
It's
yeah,
probably
this is
a
old
shill,
gameplay.
yeah,
I will agree with
I wanna
Jaxie.
see
This is old gameplay, but this is the only gameplay that I have to show. So I just wanted to show you guys.
And
At least he called it out that it was total shit. All right. Integration with Ton. What the fuck?
Injective and the Telegram ecosystem. Injective is officially integrated with Ton blockchain ecosystem, an historic moment for both communities. Now Injective assets such as ING can be bridged and utilized across Ton, while Ton can also be leveraged across Injective dApps. So if you're bullish on the Telegram ecosystem, which I am, also in the Injective ecosystem, this is awesome. And as of 6 hours ago, in MasterCard news and MetaMask, introducing the MetaMask card, the world's first MasterCard debit card that enables instant spending directly from your self-custody wallet.
Isn't that what Tangent's trying to do with Visa? Am I wrong? I feel like Rondi said that on SNL one night. Like last Saturday maybe, or maybe the Saturday before that. Weird. I thought MetaMask was like in court still with some bullshit. Crypto KJ saying, yep, all right. So they're going for a Visa. Yeah, weird. I swear MetaMask was still going through court stuff. Tangent is more secure than MetaMask. Yeah, I would highly recommend you do not use that. That MasterCard, MetaMask, anything. MetaMask is such shit, it's not even funny. People get scammed all the time through them.
This is a huge TradFi and Web3 partnership. I mean, this is massive. Of course, this is an ongoing story. Click subscribe for daily updates, and like always, see you tomorrow.
All right. Well, shout out to, I guess, Altcoin Daily for that. Let's get into the recap segment of things. If anybody's just joining, let's do it. We got Bitcoin, 59,536 bucks. We got Ethereum at 2657, looking strong. LTC's holding up 65 bucks. I kind of wanted it to go down a bit, but it's all right. It's all right. I took some gains. It's fine. ADA, 33 cents. You get XRP at 57 cents. Solana, 145 bucks. I wonder if we're going to get an ETF of Solana. I really do. I think it's going to happen. I just don't know when. Caspa, 16.8 as of right now. Hopefully, I kind of want to buy in a little bit more Caspa as well. But Near has been one of those ones I've been looking at. Again, $4.19. I think I'm going to get some of that today, actually. I just got to stop talking about it and just do it. Yeah, over here, Crypto Bubbles, biggest earner of the day is Phantom. If anybody cares, 40 cents over here. Not a coin I'm into, but it's ranked 61 and it's got a $1.13 billion market cap. Aave, 7.4% up today, $111. Flares, 5.8% today at 1 cent, just about 1.5. We have Theta, 3.9% up today, $1.21. Everything else is kind of just whatever, to be honest. Link is up, I guess, to 10 $10.62, 2.9%, and Runes up 5.9 to $3.82. Flashbang Fear and Greed Index is at a 29. 29 is it's in fear, right? Time to be greedy. Be greedy when people are fearful. Be fearful when people are greedy. It's kind of the way I live by what Warren Buffett says, right? It makes sense in pretty much every single market, right? Do what you want. We don't want a fast climb on this chart. We want it to be a slow grind. So hopefully that's what we get. All right, guys, listen, I gotta get the hell out of here. I got a bunch of stuff I have to do today. I appreciate all you guys hanging out with me on the daily grind. I'll be back tomorrow morning, 9:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And until then, I'll catch you soon. Go check out the new gold shell video I actually just posted about 40 minutes ago if you guys haven't seen it. I'll catch you soon. Peace out.
If she don't hawk to her, we don't talk to her.
Perfect. Eat shit, Gary.